Thank you, Doc. Thank you very, very, very much. In this very room, there is more than enough for all of us. And whenever I hear this song, it just brings me right back to why we all do this. Why are we here? Why do we do this? For this reason, to be together. Good morning, everybody. I am Reverend Beverley Strutt. I'm very, very proud to be the spiritual director of this community, of this center. And I want to welcome each and every person, whether I've seen you 100 times. I am delighted to see you this morning. If I'm seeing you for the first time, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time online, yeah, I'm so happy to see you. It is here that we come together in community, and if you resonate with what we're doing, how we're doing it, and just this lovely feeling of ooey-gooiness that we get together with, welcome home. Just welcome home. So in this very room, you know, like Sandy was saying, it's all about community. This talk title this week is You and Me Create Society. And it can look very different in very many different ways. Before I jump into that, I just want to take a minute to address Dennis and our 6-month review. We were talking about this, and we were talking about how is it that we can share, and this is not sharing about what I did. I did absolutely nothing alone. I want you to know this. I am adamant about this because it is community and we do things together, and it is, I will tell you, my hard-headedness about making sure that we include as many people as possible, as often as possible, that we do this in community. And the reason Dennis and I spoke about it and we decided to bring it forward, 6 months. This is great. We're standing. No, we're not standing. We are thriving. And this is a way to let you know what it is that we're doing. All the things that we spoke about at the annual meeting, we're actually in action doing it. And it's because of all of you showing up and being a part of it. Because without you, there would not be anything here. So I'm so grateful for all those that went before me. I'm so grateful to all of you that are here willing to go forward boldly, as Dennis said, because we have some fun things coming down the pipe. We're looking at the next 6 months as being community, community, community. Let's come together. Let's get to know each other. Let's bond. Let's start to rub up against each other, polish each other's up. And we come together. That's what we're looking at for the next 6 months. And in that place is where we see society. Now, we can look at society and go, ugh, that's just an ugly word, because a lot of us are like, they say, and yucky over here, and I don't agree with this. And so I looked first into nature, just to see the diversity of societies in nature. I was born in Africa. Most of you know that. One of my favorite things to do is to go down to a watering hole at sunset. And there are very many places around the country where you either have an animal reserve or whether you're in one of the giant parks where there is a place, either a very tall structure or an underground structure that you come in and you can sit there and watch the animals come. It is brilliant, I gotta tell you. You never grow tired of it. You never do. But what's interesting is you're watching this go on, you're watching society. You're watching the animal society of how they interact with each other, what they do, when do they leave, when do the birds go up and go, the cats are on the way, we might as well get out of here right now. But you also see things like, you don't see the cats come in, drink their fill, and then go, we're just going to hang out so that nobody else can get any. No, they don't. They do have other things going on, a lot of little idiosyncrasies, but there's enough. And even in shortages and times of tremendous drought, they always seem to work it out in a certain way. What about trees? We look at trees and the society that trees have. The underground roots, I think it's called the pando aspen. They believe it might actually just be one tree. But these roots have gone deep and they work together. They share nutrients. They share energy. If there's something danger coming along, if there's a knowledge of it, it is shared through the root system. That is society. You'll never see trees just standing alone. They're always connected. There's always this thing going on underneath. Even flowers. Now, I know we have some master flowers, gardeners around in our community. We can have a look and see how they've all done this beautiful work. But if you look out into nature, you don't see a single plant by itself. You just don't. Things grow in community. They support each other. You know, there's this wonderful term that I can't think of it right now, but it's companion gardening. We actually consciously do that when we plant stuff. But in nature, they're doing it by itself. You don't see plants by themselves. They're in their own community. Okay? Even in the ocean. Have you ever heard of a cleaning station? Anybody heard of a cleaning station? I found this for the first time. I'm like, really? A cleaning station, a place where big fish go to get cleaned by little fish. I can understand this. Have you ever seen a whale try to lick its tail? No, it ain't gonna happen. But there's stuff on there that needs to be cleaned. So they have a cleaning station. This is society happening in all these diverse forms in nature. And then you have us. You know, sometimes I feel like we're just a whole bunch of porcupines trying to keep warm. Isn't that a brilliant image? We're a whole bunch of porcupines just trying to keep warm. It's a good way of looking at it. But you know, it's an interesting thing that we get caught up in how society is. It's just the way it is. And yet, there are many societies around the world that run in a very, very healthy and compassionate way. The Ubuntu, we've all heard that term before. We see it in the Southern African area. And Ubuntu literally means I know myself because of you. I am because of you. It's a capacity in the African culture to express compassion, reciprocity, dignity, harmony, humanity, as it treats the building and maintaining of community with justice and mutual caring. Now, when Sandy got up and spoke, that's Ubuntu. All right? That is Ubuntu. It is, and the values that come forward are community, respect, dignity, acceptance, sharing, co-responsibility, humanness, fairness, love, joy, fulfillment. I can just keep going on. All of these are the wonderful qualities of the divine that show up in this society. This is not a unique society, but it is one that we notice because they're the kind of people that if you do something wrong, they don't kick you to the curb. They actually bring you in, put you in the middle of a circle, gather around, and tell you how magnificent you are until you cannot do anything but believe it. Yes. They gather around, they love on you, they talk to you, they tell you of all the magnificent, great things you did. They don't focus on what you did wrong, they focus on who you are as a magnificent part of this society. And when you're ready, you walk back into the group, loved, respected, and taking your place. You are not shunned, you are not put aside. This might be a little bit more difficult in some of the other bigger societies. There are a lot of different kinds of people. that make up our societies. If it's a society of a small group, if it's a bigger group, if it's a larger society, if it is a society that is the world, all right? And so along with that, we adjust as we go. One of the greatest ideals for society, from Yuval Noah Harari, I read this. Just as it takes a tribe to raise a child, it also takes a tribe to invent a tool, solve a conflict, or cure a disease. No individual knows everything it takes to build a cathedral, an atom bomb, or an aircraft. What gave Homo sapiens an edge over the other animals and turned us into the masters of the planet was not our individual relationship or our individual rationality, but our unparalleled ability to think together in a large group. Our unparalleled ability to think together in a large group. Anybody had any issues with ever coming together in a large group and trying to decide on the best course of action? Any issues? Exactly. But we do make it happen, and there are ways to make it happen. But the first thing that we do is we acknowledge that we're all individuals and we're all unique expressions of the divine. And while I was doing my research for this talk today, I came across something funny. I've always got to add a little humor into this. Has anybody ever heard of the Darwin Awards? You have. Brilliant. The awards that keep the gene pool clean? Is that the Darwin? Are those the same Darwin Awards that you're talking about? Those ones where people so interestingly die from a Coke machine falling on him while he was trying to grab a free soda. The same Darwin Awards? Yes? Yeah, American Funniest Videos, I think, have it covered for the Darwin Awards. But I have one who didn't win the award, but is potentially a great candidate. His name was Ronald, and he was off at a petting zoo with some friends from Russia. And he decided he wanted to just show off how the American product is so good. So he thought he would take some crazy glue and attach himself to the back of a rhino. So he did. He took some crazy glue, about 3 ounces, I think that's what we need, rubbed it on his hands, and put himself on the back of the rhino. Well, Sally, this wonderful rhino, she's used to being touched. She was part of the petting zoo, people were able to touch her. She was okay until she realized that Ronald was attached to her. And she went off. She went crazy, running around, mass destruction everywhere going on. Ronald was just a passenger, attached by superglue. Very smart move. Here comes the kicker. Sally had been having some digestive issues. Yes, she was highly constipated, and right before Ronald wanted to do his little prank, they had given her a diuretic. So while all of this was going on, and they were trying to calm her down and stop her, the medicine kicked in. Yes, literally Ronald was up to it in his eyeballs. You can imagine how this was going on. Well, eventually they managed to subdue her and calm her down. 30 gallons of rhino poop all over. They literally were digging a passageway so that Ronald could breathe. They got her calmed down. They got him removed from it. The Russians took away this. Oh, what a great product. Let's take it home for our kids, but not to the zoo. So therein lies a great candidate for the Darwin Awards. But it also goes to show us that if it wasn't somebody you knew, it might be you in our society. We walk amongst everybody with different ideas, different thought patterns, different, just how do we do this? And why do we want to do it? How do we create a beloved society? That it works for everyone, which is truly in our global vision, a world that works for everyone. Thomas More, in The Care of the Soul, he says, one of the strongest needs of the soul is for community. But community from the soul's point of view is a little different from its social form. The soul yearns for attachment, for variety in personality, for intimacy and particularity, for carefulness. So it is these qualities in community that the soul seeks. It does not seek like-mindedness and uniformity. And so often, this is what we are looking for. We want to be around like-minded people. We want to be around uniformity, and we would cringe if we actually thought about it in those terms. No, we want to be around people that inspire us. We want to be around people that are different from us. We want to be around people that bring excitement and joy and challenge us to be better, that challenge our way of thinking. You know, to have this, that there are different ideas out there, different filters. This is what we want to be around. Can you imagine if we were all clones of me? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, that would be just awful. There'd be no variety. There'd be no different idea. There would be no expansion. There would be no polishing. We're all like a big rock polisher. We get together and we polish each other's smooth, rough edges away. We like porcupines keeping warm. But this is our society. Although man is inherently a perfect idea, his individuality covers this idea with the forms of thoughts which he imagines. So we're all actually perfect. However, our individuality covers the ideas with forms of thought which you imagine. Humans come into this life subjected to the race consciousness and to their own environment. They unfold with their own personalities and begin to create new subjective thought. So you build in on whatever you come in with that's different. You build your subjective thought on top of that. They think, observe, they draw certain conclusions and deductions and incorporate them within their mental state until at last they become part of the relative cause of the objective existence. That's a huge statement, but basically what it's doing is saying is that we come in imperfect. We're always perfect, and yet we immediately take on things in our society, in our environment, in our growth, and from there we add our own personality to it, and it builds, and it begets, and it becomes its own thing. This is what we are. This is what we're designed to do. But where is it where we work together? Where is it where we decide, nah, I don't like that. I'm judging that. I don't like that. I'm not going to be part of that. How often do we cut ourselves off from the potential of another great, brilliant idea and another situation and a wonderful experience because, nah, I don't agree with what they think. All the time. All the time we move into this place of separation as opposed to coming together, not in uniformity, but in community, in society, to grow and to become more and to develop and to see the magnificence and the wonderment that can come out of being in a collective thought. This is what we have as humans. We get to do this. Last week, Owen Dennis Soares was speaking about how I'm afraid that if I don't have it, you're going to have it, and you have it, I'm not going to have it. We think of it, the society and our source as being a pie. And it's not a Boston cream pie, because there's always enough for everyone. No, it's a pie that is limited. This is not what source is about. But unfortunately, when we look around into the greater society, this is what spurs 90% of the fear in the world, is that there is not enough. I'm sorry, I cannot say bad words up here, but it's complete BS. And that doesn't stand for Beverley Strutt. It stands for something else, but it's completely BS. There is no lack on this planet. There is no lack in the world. Is distribution equal? No. But there is plenty. And this fear of there is not enough spurs our separation from each other. I've got to have mine. You can't get any. But what we saw through what Sandy was telling us is that there are times when people let that all go. In the times of disasters, and the times when we are sparked or brought together in a unity against another one enemy, where this all comes forward. What about today? What about right here, right now? Is there enough for everybody? There's absolutely enough for everybody. Are we hoarding a little bit? Just in case, the rainy day? Absolutely. It is in the nature to keep a little bit in the storeroom. But it is not in the nature of the universe to take way more than you need, keep it for yourself at the detriment of those around you. My opinion. Everybody walks it out their own way. But here's one thing that we get to do. This is what we get to do. As human beings, as members of the community, we get to make a change. We get to make a change. Now, yes, we live in Hawaii. We have the spirit of aloha. We come together. We love on each other. And yet, you will still find people separating because it's mine, not yours. Okay. But how can we be an example of when we do come together more often for the rest of the world? One of the greatest things we need to do is keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Every single day. Every single day that you wake up, just keep doing it. If there's somebody you can reach out to with a smile, if there's something you can do, if there's something you can bring to the party, bring it. If there's a place where you can volunteer, volunteer. If there's a place where you can go and just stop and smile at somebody because it's changed their day, do it. It's every action we do goes into the collective and spreads out butterfly wings throughout the whole world. We do it. What else can we do? What are the things that can really make a difference to shift this whole society? Now, first of all, we understand that we don't make changes up in what we would call the canopy of the trees or the conditions in the world. It's too big. It's too difficult to move. We go down to the roots. That's where we make the changes. When we're dealing with health, we don't make the changes out here or in the demonstration of the disease. We go into the atomic level or beyond in the cells and we work there. That's the place we work in. We go in and we bring forward a new idea from the base. But how do we get these new ideas? What can we, each one of us, this week do to make a huge difference in the way our society will come together and then work itself out in the greater world? Listen. Just listen. It is a spiritual practice, and this is what we can do. We can listen. Listen to the people around you. Listen to the world around you. Listen to nature around you, but listen to the people around you. Not with an idea that you know what they're going to say. Not with a fix-it solution. Just with an open heart and an open mind. Just listen. You don't have to agree. You don't have to get on board with everything that they're doing. Just listen. Because here is the thing. We get to do this work because God works through us. So when we get to that place of listening, that place of calm and quiet, we're an open vessel for God to work through us. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, if God can work for us only by working through us, we cannot afford to hold personal animosities against the world or members of society. All such thoughts are outside the law and cannot be taken into the heavenly consciousness. Love alone can beget love. So when we listen for the heart, we listen from the heart, and we move forward in compassion. We move forward in a greater understanding because we've taken the time to hear. So we listen. And that is my invitation to you this week, is as you're moving through your life, as you're interacting with people, take an extra minute to really listen to what the person is saying. And if you have to look between the lines, look, but don't make up your own story. Stop and truly listen to them. You'll be amazed what you will hear. You'll be amazed at the new ideas and the new seeds that will be planted in your garden. You will be amazed at how you will see the world just by listening. So in closing, I just want to share a little piece from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, the spiral of life is upward. Evolution carries us forward, not backward. Eternal and progressive expansion is its law, and there are no breaks in its continuity. It seems to me that our evolution is the result of the unfolding consciousness of that which already is and need but to be realized to become a fact in everyday life. It's all already here, folks. We've got it all. Everything that we need to have a beloved, successful society. We just have to bring our awareness, our attention to it, and realize it in our daily lives. And from Mr. Rogers, we are all called to be Tikkun Olam, the Hebrew meaning action to improve society and care for us. We're called to be repairers of creation. Thank you for whatever you do to bring joy, light, hope, faith, pardon, and love to your neighbor and to yourself. Thank you to each and every one of you for all you do to create the beloved society. And so it is. Let's take this to prayer. And I get to take a breath in this moment that we get Susanna to come up, because this support is ridiculous. So it is in this very room where we come together and lean in and know that there is more than enough joy and love and power and peace and prosperity for the whole world, because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm of the world. And I recognize and know in this time, in this moment, that the divine is in action in, through, and as every single thing that we do. There is absolutely nowhere where God is not. Nowhere. There cannot be. We're created in it. We're created of it. It is in us. It is through us. We're guided, guarded, and protected every minute of every day with this power that is greater than us, and we get to use it. And so I know that as we walk our paths, as we touch people around us, as we gather in community, as we create small societies that are even bigger in the outside world, that we do it from a place of love. We do it from a place of understanding that we are different. We do it from a place of curiosity, a place of what else can be known through us by the divine. So I know that as we walk our path, we walk it with ears wide open, hearts wide open, eyes wide open, and our arms embracing those around us. For what else should we be doing but loving? So I know that this is the truth for each person here. I know that this walk this week is magnificent. I know that it unfolds with an ease and a grace, and above all else, a joy for the magnificence of life, and I call it good. So I release this knowing that Spirit has said yes. Yes, my beloveds, yes. So please claim it together with me as we say, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Susanna.